Hello again and welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having a magical day. Thank you for taking the time to support the channel. If you don't know, my name's Hello Good Game. The pleasure is all mine, truly. And I will be your host within today's Magic the Gathering Arena deck guide, which is very special because it is the early access streamer event. All of the content creators invited to an exclusive event where they compete against one another with fully loaded accounts. Now, what this accomplishes is, first, it gets everybody hyped up. B, it allows us as the individual to decide whether or not the pre-release or the pre-sale bundles are worth it, right? Do we like the set? Does it look cool? Are we going to enjoy it? And then secondly, how are we spending our wild cards, right? So that's what we'll be looking to accomplish today. And we get to do this against some of the best players and creators in the world, which is so cool. So thank you to all of them as well. We're going to break down the deck list, talk about the strategies and synergies in depth. Like I said, demonstrating this against some of the best players and decks in the world. And of course, we'll wrap up with our final thoughts and deck review. So if you want to help out for all of the hard work, just the like button. It's really easy. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And let's take a look at the new deck. Of course, subscribe for new content daily. That's a no-brainer though. And the Azorius Lifegain deck is built around Will, Scion of Peace, a new 3-mana creature that is a 2/4 with Vigilance that can tap to give spells that you cast this turn that are white and or blue. The ability to cost X less, where X is the amount of life that we've gained this turn at sorcery speed. So this is pretty cool because life gain's fantastic. You may have seen we did Rowan Scion as well. Now that's the life loss creature, which is really cool. Check that out if you haven't seen it. And now we're going to be gaining some life. So this is phenomenal. And, the greatest card I've ever seen to go with it will be Teferi, who slows the sunset for 4 mana, 4 starting loyalty, +1, choosing up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target land. Untap those permanents and then gain 2 life. All right, what is that? Are you serious, dude? Come on. So tap will, right? Reduce the mana cost of things. Play Teferi for 2. We'll get into the specifics later as to the play lines. And then use Teferi's plus ability to untap a land, untap your will, and gain 2 life. So you can now re-tap your will, originally tapping it to gain 3 reduction, and now we are up to 5 on the turn for a total of 8? What? Oh, don't worry. We'll also have 3 untapped lands, bringing our mana total to 11. On turn 4, which I can't comprehend how that's going to be fair in the meta, but it's here and you have to get it. Okay, so let's talk about how you're going to accomplish that, right? And there's a couple ways. 11 is the most mana you can get. Is it 11 or 12? I think it's 11. With the Intrepid Adversary, it's a 3/1, right? With lifelink. So you play this on 2, you play Will on 3. Turn 4, you're attacking with the Intrepid, with Will, right? You're dealing 5 damage. Then you tap Will because it has Vigilance, reducing by 3, right? You have 2, you have 4 untapped land. And then you play Teferi for 2. Now you have 2. You use Teferi's ability, untap Will, gain 2 life, untap a land now to 3, right? Dennick will provide 2 life gain, but keep in mind the double tap of Will is compounding it, so Dennick will be 2 less, only bringing you to 9. The same goes for the Thopteryx, 2 less from 9 to 7 because it's a double tap from Will. All right, so we have 3 different life gain creatures that we can play on turn 2, 4 Will to be played on turn 3 to activate Will, hopefully with the Teferi to untap Will, gain life, untap the land, right? We also have Shore Up, which can untap Will, giving it hexproof and a +1 counter if our opponent's trying to remove it. Further protection for not only Will, but our life gain attacker will be Skrelv Defector Mite. This is you know, on turn 1, play Force, 1/1, Toxic 1, can't block, pay 1 Phyrexian white, which is either 1 white mana or 2 life. Tapping it, creature gets Toxic 1, hexproof from the chosen color, and cannot be blocked by that chosen color, right? This is going to keep the dream alive. Furthermore, Gold-Forged Thopteryx will give legendary permanents we control Ward 2. That's now on the Mite. That's now on Will. That's going to be on Teferi as well. It is beautiful, but we also like the increased damage output, as well as cards in graveyards can't be the target of abilities or spells, right? So that's quite cool as well. So that's what we're doing early game, ideally. Of course, you know, it's a regular deck. You can play it how it comes as well, but that is how we built it. It is beautiful. And what are you doing with 11 mana? What are you doing with 9 mana or 7 mana even? Well, I wonder. A Jin-Gitaxias on turn 4 to now shut down your opponent's artifacts, their instants and sorceries, which is crazy. Very, very good. And this is going to also double yours, which is really cool. First time each turn, of course. And it's a 5/5, which we love. We also have Elesh, Norn, Mother of Machines for 5. It's a 4/7 with Vigilance. And in a similar fashion, this is going to, you know, increase your output while simultaneously hindering your opponents. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it will trigger an additional time. And then if something causes your opponents to trigger, it's not triggering, which is great. So, you know, really cool how we're, you know, holding to, I would say, field advantage with some really big creatures, kind of taxing or hating on our opponent's actions while simultaneously ramping to Heaven's Gates. Like, this thing is crazy, right? So loving Will, Scion of Peace. Very, very cool. It's not just these, though. We love Jin because it can copy our instants and sorceries for really good value. The Smite is removal, show up for protection. We also have the Scrutiny for draw and the Sun's Twilight to field wipe and make mites, which is really cool. So all of these we can dump in, you know, our mana into, and wiping the field at that point is no problem, right? We should get it. Drawing a bunch of cards is really cool too, and you know, my favorite is just making a ton of 2/2s. They're going to have Vigilance, and then of course, you know, you can easily flip by removing the 6 counters into Teferi. Another Planeswalker, 4 loyalty, +1, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 unless you discard a creature, which we have plenty of, that's no problem. -2, you get an emblem with knights you control, each get +1/+0 and have Ward 1. I actually got these abilities mixed up in game, which is pretty funny. And then -3, tap any number of permanents or creatures you control, and then shuffle a permanent or a target non-land permanent your opponent controls with mana value X into their library, where X is the number of creatures that you tapped, right? So that's very cool removal as well. The Celestus is here. It's life gain. You know, it can tap for mana of any color, which is nice, and the day-night cycle can help us sift through our library. You know this. The Irencrag is really cool. Early ramp. It's also able to push up our creatures, which have life gain. So we can put it on the Thopteryx, and it's going to get +3/+3. It's now a 4/6, which is really, really good for us. You know, it's also available on Dennick, the Mite, if you want some extra combat damage as well. So, you know, it does work, and it can help us ramp, which isn't bad, and Teferi can untap it for, you know, double use, which I like, right? That's why we're playing it. Jin can copy our Thopteryx, keep this in mind. The Mite won't matter because it's a legendary. And Teferi can also look at the top 3 cards for -2, putting 1 into our hand, which is great. And then -7, you get an emblem with untap all permanents you control during your opponent's untap step, and you draw a card during their draw step, which is so freaking crazy. It's not even funny. The Mirrex here for creatures, and we've got, you know, our dual lands for consistency and some utility lands here for extra value. That's the deck. Intrepid can be kicked for additional life gain on your creatures late game as well. Shoutouts to the Mites, I guess, and also the Knights, which is cool. You know, it does work. It does work, right? And then finally, Union of the Third Path. Draw a card, gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand, which is ridiculous when you're activating Will, right? Like, that is absolutely doggone crazy. And then, you know, getting into the goodies, right? So really cool, well-rounded deck that is a unique take on what I wouldn't even call Azorius control. Like, this is a mid-range deck. This is absolutely a beautiful Azorius mid-range deck, which, you know, I'm all in. When's the last time we've actually been able to have fun with mid-range decks, right? So this is cool. I like it. Let me know what you think. Enjoy today's gameplay footage, which is amazing, by the way. You're going to really... One of my best matches today within this video. So take care, enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, become a YouTube member, all that. Join the community Discord if you must. And yeah, enjoy. Going first, keeping 7. Hello, James. How are you today? Hope all is well. Hello and good game to use. They're here. They're here. Don't worry. Maybe half here. The tabby. The tabby. Let's go with a Dennick. Now we're going to top deck a Will. Right? And we're off to the races. Top deck a Will. Ramavel with the Lifgain. Nice. Damage. X equals 1. Vigilance blocker out. Not really how we like to cast the spell, but well, that's how it's being done. Arena. Why you play me like this, homie? I'm trying to play a match. I don't know if we're here or not. I'm gonna load back in, just in case. Just in case. That's how Arena works. Oh, I opened the wrong one. The VIP client. One moment, please. Let's see if we're still in the game. Hi, Johnny. How are you? You know, I think we're just going to take it. Oh. In my brain, that was an ossification. No attacks. They can have it. They would block, right? That was a misplay, too. I honestly thought that was an ossification. Can we look at those two cards beside each other? You know, how out to lunch am I? A 4/3. Nice. Second land. Cool. Tabby makes rats. Can grab Death Touch for 2. Oh, removal. Nice. No block. That's not too bad for us. Right, especially if Teferi just pushes up. This feels really weird to do. They're double drawing, which is great. Looking for Will. Looking for our second blue source. The land here is really bad for us. Probably just casting Dennick. They're going to want to take Teferi if they can. Now, normally I would say I've disconnected again, but we can see them looking around. Contemplating the different play lines are the best option. I love the Scoundrel. This is a good card. Some haste, too. Not bad. Well, we may as well go for it. Just take out the scoundrel. They get a rat. They deal 1 damage. So we're down to 16 Teferis at 1 plus the rat. Not too shabby. Oh, another knight. That's good. It's kind of hard to play a match when you keep getting disconnected. Are we here? 7 mana. What is happening? Oh my god. Can't get through a match. Let's load in again. I think we're already a Johnny, aren't we? This is the second time this match. Try to get back in here. I feel bad for our opponents. Just waiting for us. It's X equals 5. Did we just draw 4 out of 5 cards being lands? If it's not one thing, it's another, you know? Oh, did you need a field wipe? Sorry, did you need a field wipe? How about 4 lands? Best I can do. Best I could do, about 4 lands. All right, Ashiok is out, which I love. Ashiok's pretty cool. 2 tokens. It's great. So good. Teferi's down. We get hit down to 14 as well. Another land. Wow. Wow. Now this is some cool stuff. Drawing. I want the will, but you know, our back's in the corner here. Seven, 8, casting for 6. Not the worst, but not great. Right, we still are very much in a bad position. All these adventure cards are in exile for Ashiok. Keep in mind. It's very good. Have I disconnected again? No. I never know, man. I almost, like... Yeah. Guess how many matches we've lost just from waiting for our opponent. We're like, oh, they're roping. You know, let's sit here. But it's not. It's you. Right? It's a hard life I live. You never know. It's a big hit here. I see 8, 9, 10... 11, 12, 13, 14 damage. Good game. I mean, I'd say good game, but I can't, is the thing, because of Johnny. We do take 1 damage here from the token, I think, and they get a rat. Down to 3. They left Teferi alive. Untap our land. That brings us to 9. X equals 7. We're still in trouble, though. Very much so. 5 life is not good. Maybe we get A White Sun's Twilight. All right, they're going to push up the 1/1s here. Does it not? Doesn't that push up the 1/1s? Oh, at the beginning of combat, so it's just not yet. New cards, you know, we're always learning them, right? They do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. We have 7 blockers. There's a good chance they do have removal as well. We're going to need a big top deck. Okay, for the draw. Three available mana. Those words almost came out together. Avela mana. Avla mana. The mage is cool. Cursed roll token. Put it on a tabby or a rat, right? So that remains unchanged. Yep. Cool, 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 cool. +1 counters out, which is great. Right, we will have to double block. We do lose 1 life from the... Oh, no, that's not a wicked roll token. It's a cursed roll token. They have single target to get nice value from the double block, maybe. Right, if you remove one of the double blockers, the other's for free. I still would have blocked it anyways as a chump, but... May as well keep your creature alive, right? All right. Rat token made because it was an enchantment. While the tabby was still in play. Do we need the life? Risky biscuits. I'm going to hit Ashiok. Only 5 life. We're in such danger here, it's not even funny. Jin's going to counter artifacts, instants, and sorceries. The first one each turn. Right, so they will need to double cast to get through. Oh my god. I would give them a nice, but I can't. Shoulder's pretty good. 2 mana untapped. Food available. Now they've got double draw on their shoulder. That's crazy good. That's so good. We'll copy it, thank you. Now I'm wondering if we bounce it to play it again later. Or we wait and bounce their shoulder when they try to put the roll token. Or we just bounce this and they don't have a roll token. And then shoulder's still in play. So I can't draw. And it doesn't permanent tap. Maybe I just go for their person. That's hard to say. Maybe Jin should have went elsewhere. Down to 10. Down to 4. There's no double draw. We have life gain, but we need to survive. Jin is countering. This is so close. Four life. Oh my god. Right? What the? Yeah, Will, are you there? Even like a Mite, like a Sunfall or whatever. Anything? Not a Silver Scrutiny, not that. Dragon's out, no haste. Mosswood's out, no haste, no attack. Really? Do we just chill out here? We do, don't we? Five unblockable damage only. I imagine there's a block, right? No block. Do we shuffle this back? Tap 4 creatures. We do, don't we? Eight life, no Shieldred. End turn. This is stressful, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana available. Another? Oh my god. Crying. Crying. Such a good card, right? And the best card of the set is... Whew. All right. I don't have an attack. Oh, we finally found Will. I don't want to miss lethal.
Keep on guessing.
I thought that was only draw 1, not draw 2. We don't really get anything. Oh, I thought the +1 was the knights. I did that wrong. I would have just left it. I was going to push my knights up. I should read the cards. Okay, don't mess the rest of this game up. Are we hitting for lethal? Teferi can tap is why I say. So they're going to block... Well, okay, let's tap the flyer. Then Shieldred blocks Jin. They have 2 blocks. They block the 4 and a 2. So we're hitting for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not enough. This can potentially be copied. Teferi's double draw did get us to the Smite, which is not bad. And it looks like we get good copy value. Beautiful. Quite the match we found ourselves in here. Oh my gosh. Two shoulders dealt with. Yeah, where's our white sun? With no shoulder, I'll take a Silver Scrutiny as well. Dragons in play for 2 mana. 1 mana with a Tabby, 0 mana with a Hex Mage. Okay. No doing me dirty here with a Sheoldred. Let's copy the Thopteryx with Jin. Tap their blocker. Massive swing. Yep. Nice life gain. Reducing by 7, that's crazy. Ending turn, and now the Smite can copy on their turn if they attack. Woo! That was a stressful match. We had like 5 life at one point. Another Tabby. Glissa's pretty cool. A land. Another Teferi. Let's draw. Submit 0. Just tapping their creature for lethal. We'll be quick about it. Oh, they do have that as well, hey? It's fine. Because, well, I mean, we have Elspeth Smite. Good game. That was a very nice way to showcase the deck. Beautiful. Really good match. Alrighty then. A pretty decent deck. It is a little bit of a goldfish build, but at the same time, so powerful that you can kind of get away with it. In comparison to the Rakdos deck, like, you know, if you haven't seen the Rowan Scion Pay Life deck, check it out. It's very cool. But the two are very different, right? One is gaining life, which helps you survive and not lose the match. And the other, you're losing life, which is really just helping your opponent out to a certain extent. And it can come back to bite you potentially. So both decks, incredibly fun, incredibly powerful. I think in that one, we're making like 11 mana. In this one, we're making 12 mana on turn 4. We have a Gruul deck that I think makes maybe 12 mana again, which is crazy on turn 4. So, you know, when we looked at Eldraine, we're like, wow, this doesn't look too powerful, too crazy, but it is. We were just focused on the wrong cards. And the set as a whole is really cool. Very powerful as far as not necessarily the mana ramp, but cost reduction within things. Very fun, very fun. So really looking forward to playing more with Will Scion of Peace and, you know, making the most out of these decks. I hope you enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, of course, in the comments below. And check out the other videos. We got a ton of them, right? So we'll see you soon in the next. Thanks so much.